Hi guys, and welcome to the wonderful world of infusions. These are the cutest little bottles of product. These are pigment based dyes. It has got a walnut crystal in it, so all the product has got this nice brown undercoat to it, and I'm going to show you quickly what I have done with them and how you can use them. Alright, so firstly, they come in a lot of different colors. They come in these cute little bottles. What I do, if you want to share with a friend, is I actually divide them and put them into little trays so that you can share colors with your friends as well. They come with a soft metal tip. You take off the lid. The lid has got a little white stopper inside, and then what people do is you just punch a hole into your lid, put it back on, and then this creates a little sprinkle system for you. If you don't want to do that, then you can just use a paintbrush, dip it into your color and tap it off. I'll show you now how I do it. All right, so that one over there, I'm going to leave that undone. These have all got their little white tips, and I'm going to be working with my other colors that I have shared with a friend. All right, so firstly, the magic of infusions is that the color is super bright, and there is so much that you can do with it. So firstly, I'm going to show you with this one over here is called Green Man. Just sprinkle a little bit, it goes a long way. Then I'm going to add a little bit of orange from my container. I am going to add another little bit of darker orange, and I'm going to add some purple as well. All right, so this here has just been applied directly to my paper. You can prepare your paper with gesso, or you can just use normal. I am just using a little bit thicker cardstock. This is just backing paper just to show you. Now this is where the magic happens. So a few sprays of water. The more you spray, the more color you get. All right, but don't overspray because then you end up with mud. All right, so there we go. That is number one. That is spraying it directly on top of your infusion powder. All right, second one, I'm going to clean here quickly, is if we are going to take our paper, this one to me is magic. I love this. So remember now my paper has got a little bit of a glossy edge to it. So I'm going to spray it, and then I'm going to add my color directly to my mat. All right, so have a look there. Check how this color is just, obviously my brush has still got a little bit of the limoncello in it, so it's taking that color as well. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of orange down this side, and then I'm going to add, I think that's a blue color. Oh no, it's not. It's very deceptive, the colors, when they are in their bottles. All right, so there we go. Look at that. So the color immediately starts blending with the water, and you get a different effect. So that is directly on, and this one is onto the water. All right. Next step is to play with stencils. I love this effect as well. So we are going to take our card, and what we are going to do is I'm going to take a stencil, place it on top of my card, and then I'm going to use some different colors. Again, I'm just going to sprinkle. Less is more. You do not need a lot. It really goes quite far. So just a little bit of a sprinkle there and a sprinkle here. Okay, and I'm going to sprinkle at the top. All right, now I have got my sprinkles. I'm going to spray, and you can see how the color gets activated, and you are going to immediately lift that, and you'll end up with your stencil. Now this part over here, I'm not going to throw that away. I'm going to turn it over, excuse the dogs, and I am going to smooch that onto another one, and I'm going to get the negative. So here we now have the negative, and we have the positive of our stencil. All right, so that is using it through a stencil. You can have a look and see. The longer you leave it, the more the color works. If you use a hairdryer, or not a hairdryer, your heating tool, it will stop and your colors will be more brighter and bolder. All right, next up is using it with texture paste. So just to show you what that looks like, I'm going to clean that off quickly. So what you can do firstly is just take your texture paste, so any brand is fine. Okay, run it through your stencil. Okay, and then the first thing, okay, the stencil's hooking a bit. I think my texture paste has gotten a bit thick. All right, do not lift your stencil. You are now going to take your colors and you are going to touch it to your project. I'm going to just do a few, don't want to go too many. Okay, there we go, 3 colors. Take your spatula, and with this you can now just gently, don't go too much, otherwise you're going to end up with mud. All right, there we go. So now you have a texture paste and colored stencil on your project. Next one is what you can do is you can now also take your texture paste. This will work, I know we're going to do it now with texture paste, but you can also do this with ribbon, flowers. You can color any of your projects with this. All right, remember it is a pigment ink, so you mix it in with your color. You can check how beautiful that color is coming out. It's a nice orangey. I'm going to add a little bit more. I want it a little bit darker. All right, there we go. And now this, again, we can run through our stencil. And if we lift it, there we go. We have got some beautifully colored stencil. So now imagine you're doing a yellow layout and you need a yellow ribbon. You can just literally make a puddle. So you would take your powder on the mat, spritz some water, and then run your ribbon through it, run your paper or silk flowers through it, and all your colors will match. All right, so that is just showing you a few of the things that you can do. My last thing I want to show you quickly is taking your colors, and if you just take a little paint pot, you can now take your colors, you can put it into your paint pot. If you apply some water, oh, okay, my water is not cooperating with me, there we go. And what this will become is a watercolor element. So you can, from here, this is a very dark color. Okay, I've gone with the brownish. The more water you add, the lighter it will become. So you can now paint with it. If you stamp, I'll show you here. So what I've done is I've actually stamped, and you can, depending on how much water you add, you will see that the color changes. So there it was a lighter color, and I used green as well. So it can become a paint as well, like a watercolor paint. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed that. And remember, you can get your infusions from your local craft store or from I Scrap Joburg, as always. Thank you.